A lot of people, when they look at a floor plan, they wonder, what makes a great floor plan and what are some of the features and characteristics that make a bad floor plan? Well, what is a floor plan? A floor plan is a drawing to scale showing a view from above of the relationships between rooms, spaces, and other physical features at one level of a structure. Knowing how to look at a floor plan will save you tons of time in searching for a home because you can see a top-down view of the home without even visiting or attending the open house. So, let's get you started. A wise man once said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, and it's very true in this case. Let's take this one bedroom plus den floor plan for example. A floor plan that's easy to scan through and have very little clutter has its own advantages. You can see the key features here clearly laid out before you so that you can scan through it very quickly. You will notice the couch indicating it's a living area, a dining table for the dining area and where the dining light fixture should be, and of course a bed where the bedroom would be. What I really like about this plan is actually what the guests can see when they first enter the home. It's not just about what you see, it's also about what you don't see. Upon entry, the den can be seen through the door on the left. You can see part of the kitchen, part of the dining space, living room, all the way through the ground floor patio, and also to your right is your bathroom. There are no unexpected spaces, no surprises. The guests can already see the space is very expansive because you can actually see a lot right at the get-go. What's also really great about this plan is that it's relatively rectangular, with the exception of the bedroom where the corner gives way just a little to expand the patio. I also want to talk a little bit about sun exposure here because architecture and interior design are meaningless without light. You will notice that this particular floor plan based on the floor plate illustrated on the bottom right corner is facing due south. The predominant solar emanation where a majority of the sunlight comes from throughout the day, here in the northern hemisphere, is south. And that's really good for this floor plan because why? Right when you enter the home, you're going to be welcomed by a sunlit room. Also, in practicality, the more your home faces south, the more solar radiation it can efficiently capture for natural lighting and passive heating, which collectively helps you save on utility and energy costs, and hence affect your enjoyment of the home, your health, and well-being. A lot of people take floor plans as is, but you really have to imagine yourself entering the space and visualize what will be in front of you when you're in the physical space, instead of looking down from a third-person point of view. Just because these floor plans are designed by professionals doesn't mean all of them will work for you. Take a look at this one bedroom for example. Right when the guest enters, all this person would see is this den, and the rest of the home is sort of unknown and uncertain. If we know this is a one-bedroom floor plan, and so far all we saw is this long hallway and den, how big could the rest of the home be? It feels compact upon first impressions, and not expansive and airy like the previous floor plan. In addition to that, note the amount of hallway space we have in this particular floor plan. People generally find it difficult to furnish or decorate these spaces due to its narrow nature, and so some might deem it as wasted space. But hallways in some situations do have a more positive dimension to it, which I will demonstrate later. Here, the windows are facing north, which gets limited sunlight during the day, and so you may find yourself entering a foyer area that's going to be relatively dark. Now, I'm not saying darkness is necessarily bad, just depends on your personal preference, but I just want to point that out. A possible easy fix for this floor plan, if we can, is to move the entry point from here to here. And that changes this area into washer-dryer area that doubles as storage space for your detergents, linens, vacuum cleaners, and such. Now we have more to work with in the bathroom. Since the washer and dryer has been moved out, we can install extra storage or fit an individual stand-up shower so that now you can have a stand-up shower and separate soaker tub for him and her. The result we get here from one simple maneuver gave us more space to work with to improve its utility and even potential value. And the beauty of this is that we're still using the exact same amount of space that we started with, and we didn't extend any walls. Some of these abbreviations may be easier to identify, but let's talk about them anyway. Let's start with the easy ones. Here we have a dishwasher, a washer, dryer, F is for fridge, P is for pantry, SO is for steam or speed oven, and HVAC is the heat, ventilation, and air conditioning unit. It's not clearly indicated here, but you want to make sure if the mechanics of the HVAC is on the ground or is it fixated above a dropped ceiling. It makes a difference because if it's on the ground, obviously it will take up the corner space. The ceiling-mounted kitchen vent or the range hood is of course above the gas cooktop. Note that if the home doesn't have a microwave, double check from the information provided to you if the range hood is a microwave fan combo, or what we call an over-the-range microwave. An ensuite is a washroom immediately adjoined to a bedroom. You will notice that this is a stand-up shower, which is indicated here by an X mark with a circle in the middle. We call this a 4-piece washroom. We can tell usually by counting the number of water sources, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This drawing here illustrates a bathtub, and it's also a 4-piece washroom, 2 here from the bathtub picture and shower head, 3 and 4. This pocket door serves as a space saver. While it provides privacy between the bedroom and the washroom, it also allows you to put items behind where an open door would be. You can put your laundry basket here, or put a shelf here for your toiletries, artwork on the wall, or whatever that suits your needs. Going back to my original point about the hallway space, there's almost no wasted hallway space here connected to the foyer. This is an extremely square space and as space efficient as it gets. The only problem I have about this floor plan is really the circulation space. Circulation space refers to a movement of people through and around between homes. It's often thought of as space between the space. A comfortable amount of circulation space is at least 4 feet, with bare minimum being 2. To put it into perspective, a typical bedroom door is almost 3 feet wide. Here you will notice the space leading to any of the bedrooms is kind of awkward. You either squeeze through the chairs of the dining area and the breakfast area, or you have to navigate around this weird corner. One thing you might notice that's really interesting about this floor plan is that the master bedroom takes up completely one side of the home, close to 1/3 of the square. So when the guests come in, they only notice that there's one bedroom, but would be surprised to see that you got this spacious master bedroom hiding behind the living room. This gives them a little surprise and a great talking point and something to show off to your guests. Let's turn our attention to a different type of floor plan, a townhome. Instead of me starting off by assessing the floor plan, I want you to analyze this one yourself and see if it's a favorable floor plan for you. Pause this video and see if you can make a mental list of all the pros and cons. You may pause the video now. All done? First off, you'll notice it's a 2-bedroom, 3-floor townhome with 1,248 square foot of finished space. This townhome is also quite narrow, so I'm assuming this home is part of a larger row townhome development. This suite would probably be an end unit, meaning it's not sandwiched between 2 units because you can see there are windows on the right side of the home in addition to the front and back side, which is great. Generally, the more windows, the better. Townhomes are multi-story homes that share 1 to 2 walls with adjacent properties but have their own entrances, separate from the one connected to the lobby. You'll notice the entry point for this home is on the lower floor, where the den and what you call a powder room is located. A powder room is typically the smallest room in your home with a sink, toilet, and a vanity or small mirror. Now you can access the main floor through the hallway, which is indicated here by HW. When you arrive on the main floor, what I noticed right away is that there are no powder rooms or washrooms. So what do you do when your guests come over to watch a game and say they need to use the washroom? Well, they would have to walk up or down the stairs to use the washroom, unfortunately. The dining area here is also a bit awkward as you can only use one corner of the space. Remember what we explained about circulation space and why it's important. The dining area is reduced here because it needs to make way for people coming down from the upper floor. Also, one thing I noticed is that it's missing an F here in the kitchen, but I think it's supposed to be here, where the fridge is supposed to be. And also kindly note that there's no microwave indicated here in the kitchen. And for our last plan, let's end it with a bang and check out a massive 1,936 square foot condo. On a massive scale, for a home this size, like a 3-bedroom, 1,936 square foot home, hallways are more acceptable because it pales in comparison in terms of the size versus the rest of the suite. In this case, the hallway serves as a means of separating spaces into more private areas. It creates a sense of discovery and inspires curiosity so that the guest feels a bit of excitement every time they discover a new space. Having a hallway that's a straight line which connects all areas in this case may seem boring and lazy in terms of design. The value here is creating private spaces for individuals residing in this exclusive suite, and hallways did that particularly well in this example. You may also notice that this home has 2 balconies. The larger one has a solid black square at the corner. This is a weight-bearing pillar that's supporting the structural integrity of the balcony for each floor. Sometimes, developers move the structural beam inside the unit just to preserve the aesthetic appeal of the exterior of the building, which means the resident has to suffer from this poor design. What this does is that it takes away your ability to put a sectional or L-shaped couch in the corner of this living room, as these pillars are usually located in the living room. This does happen more frequently than it should, so keep an eye out if you're buying a corner unit. For this particular floor plan, you will notice the designers are cognizant of the fact and place the pillar outside onto the balcony. At the end of the day, always remember, if you haven't found what you want, keep looking. Don't settle. There are always better floor plans out there. Take the time to do the research. It's always worth it. And that's it, everyone. That's the extent of my floor plan tutorial video. Real estate is pretty much all I do, and so if you enjoyed this video or if it had helped you in any way, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And if you wouldn't mind, please check out my other videos.